Alright. So, does anybody know who this guy in the blue on the right is?
Elon Musk.
Yes, this is a picture from 2002. He just sold PayPal to eBay for $1.5 billion. And this is a picture of him in 2017, about $18 billion more in net worth. I heard that all that money can just grow your hair back nicely. But on a more serious note, I want to reveal to you today the inventions of Elon Musk and his three main companies. I personally have always been a fan of Tesla, but I'm no expert. When it first came out with the Model S in 2014, I thought it was just like a phenomenal car, 0 to 60 in about 3.37 seconds, I believe. I do like to keep an eye out for stuff on the internet or in the news. It's pretty interesting to keep up with them. So his inventions will most definitely have an impact on the future, whether it's an impact of revolutionizing electric cars or perfecting public transportation. My main topics today will be SpaceX, Hyperloop, Tesla's self-driving cars, and SolarCity's affordable solar panels. And just a little side note, I thought this was pretty interesting that it's in red, green, and blue, which is like base primary colors of these three companies. So Elon Musk's first major company after PayPal's success, he created SpaceX, which is a space exploration company. Everybody knows about their relandable rockets, but not many people know about the Hyperloop that they made. The Hyperloop is an underground train-like pod. The main goal of this pod is to create a underground tunnel that connects San Francisco to Los Angeles. The goal for the top speed of this pod would be 700 miles per hour, making that trip from San Francisco to Los Angeles about 35 minutes. They're currently working on a prototype. The prototype is up to 200 miles per hour, and there's actually a video of it. So not only is that a very fast pod, it also brakes pretty quickly. I have a quote from Digital Trends, Will Nicole. Hyperloop aims to make a cost-effective, high-speed transportation system for uses at moderate distance. So this wouldn't be like a pod from like California to New York. It'd be a lot closer to like from the state or the surrounding states. The second state-of-the-art technology that Elon Musk is developing is the self-driving car. He's using the car company Tesla, of course, as we all know. This technology will allow unlimited possibilities while you drive. You know, if you're late for work, you can get ready, maybe make yourself a cup of coffee in the car. If you're going on a road trip, just turn around and play some games with the people in your car, you know. These are all the cameras that you have surrounding the car, and that's like, blue is the best vision that it sees, green is like moderate, yellow is kind of bad, and red is like the blind spot pretty much. And I actually have a quote from their website. 8 surround cameras provide 360 degrees of visibility around the car at up to 250 meters of range. 12 updated ultrasonic sensors complement this vision, allowing for detection of both hard and soft objects at nearly twice the distance of the prior system. A forward-facing radar with enhanced processing provides additional data about the world on a redundant wavelength that is able to see through heavy rain, fog, dust, and even the car ahead. So the camera in the front can see the traffic in front of like multiple cars ahead and know when to stop and slow down. If this does get to like popular, very popular, the cars could actually like link up, and it could actually reduce traffic completely. I think people are going to be pretty skeptical about this at first, but they'll eventually like warm up to the idea. And speaking about warming up, the third company that he has is SolarCity, which uses solar panels. They're currently trying to grind down the cost per watt of solar panels. SolarCity is the largest residential solar installer by far. Their goal is just to cut down the price of solar panels so more people in residentials can have this technology. They're doing this through the software, the panels, the materials that are made in solar panels. And he actually offered on Twitter to power the entire island of Puerto Rico. He has a quote, or I actually got the tweet. It says, "The Tesla team has done this for many smaller islands around the world, but there is no scalability limit, so it can be done for Puerto Rico too. Such a decision would be in the hands of the Puerto Rican government, PUC, any commercial stakeholders, and most importantly, the people of Puerto Rico." This will be very interesting to see. It would be one of the only countries with 100% renewable energy, and I believe the only other one is like Iceland, which they have thermodynamics and I believe hydroponic energy. So this will be the first solar panel completely renewable energy country. In conclusion, the technology of tomorrow will be amazing, and Musk inventions through SpaceX, Tesla, and SolarCity will pioneer a greener and more productive quality of living. Thank you.
All right, Chance. Here's your chance.
Alright, it's more positive than negative. So like negatively, I would say, don't be as monotone. Put a little time in it. I mean, you had a couple jokes in there, which was good. Your voice kind of said the same. They didn't make it seem like you were like excited or you were like depressed. You didn't show the emotion. So that was really all I got for negative. For positives, like you talked to the class pretty well. You didn't really read as much. You didn't stay put either. You did enough movement to make it not look like you're just sitting on the place. But you look like you put a little bit enthusiastic sense into it. Your information was great. It's nice. I like your quotes as well. Your sources really seem pretty credible. I mean, you sounded like you knew what you were talking about.
All right, Owen, I like the setup. I thought that worked well with the pictures, and you've got a little bit of humor there. The topic is clear to begin with. You've got a solid thesis that you want to talk about. Your preview is basically about the three developments that you're working on, so it's going to be a topical structure. That's pretty good. I think the idea of the Hyperloop needs a little bit more explanation, a little bit more supporting material on it, but I like the visual that you've got. The little clip, I think, does a nice effective job of giving us a sense of what is supposed to happen and how it looks. The technical issues, the complexity of that, the likelihood of it happening anytime in the future, all those sorts of things. I'd like a little bit more context and information on that. You said it's already being tested. Again, I think some information about that would be helpful, because I know that they're doing a test here in Southern California. So the idea that this is a possibility is great. I just think you need to fill it in a little bit more. I thought you did a better job with the self-driving car, giving us information, citing sources on that a little bit more. The visual, the colors probably would have been more noticeable if we turned the lights out a bit. I could see what you were talking about, but that would be one of those things where maybe a little bit of adjustment of the environment would fix some of the visual images that you have there. I like the visuals. They're all used primarily to indicate new sections of material that we're talking about. The one on the solar city or the solar projects that they've got, that I think is underwhelming. You just have like the headline about Puerto Rico, and that's okay, but the idea about how is this going to work, are these going to be standalone solar panels? I'm not exactly sure what it is they've done for these other islands, for instance, that where they are generating their own electricity, and that we ought to be able to see a picture or something like that that illustrates that. And if you can do it on some of those places, it's just a scale issue that you're worried about. That would be interesting to see and know what it is that you're talking about there. So content, I think, is pretty solid. The visuals, for the most part, are solid. Maybe a couple of places you could tweak things. I'm going to have to agree with Chance on a couple of things about the presentation when it comes to delivery, and I'm going to disagree with him about something also. I do think you need to vary your voice a little bit more. Look, you probably have kind of a dry way of explaining some of the humor. I appreciate that. That's a good way to come across. There's nothing wrong with that. But you got to have a little bit more inflection in a couple of spots, especially when you're talking about something that is distinctive or interesting. Put a little bit more personality in it. That'll be something that we're working on. Like I said, that's not a heavy thing right now. The other thing is, I appreciate the idea that you're going to move as part of the presentation. You're not moving as part of the presentation. That's all your anxiety coming out. It's not, those moves are not all deliberate about, I'm changing subjects here. I'm stepping back so you can see the visual image. Now I'm stepping back forward to engage the audience. You've got nervous feet, and you're spinning and kind of going in circles in a couple of spots. You need to take that energy, put that into the rest of your presentation, and then kind of, there's nothing wrong with moving, but you got to make the movements purposeful. They got to be connected to what you're doing, as opposed to just wandering around a little bit. And I thought it looked a little too much like you were wandering around. All right. Otherwise, like I said, I thought the content was very interesting, and you did a nice job presenting it. It's organized, and we got all the good stuff that you want to have there. Okay, thank you.